don't tell Mr. Krabs I said this, but the only way I'm dropping, you know, that big time moolah, the big time stacks, is if this Super Saiyan 4 Broly coming out for Dragon Ball Heroes is legitimately good. All right. And I'm not going to lie to you. All right. This is like the only character I care about out of the already shown roster of characters that we can expect for the upcoming Heroes collab. I don't think we really have that many leaked characters anyways. Like, I know we have this Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4 Broly, the Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4 Vegito, the Rose. Who else has already been shown? Oh yeah, the blue Dark Aura Vegeta, whatever his name is, and a few Awakenings and Easy A's, whatever the case may be, right? But this is the only character I care about. And in this video, we're going to go through just a quick concept I made and just to show you what I need from him minimum in order for me to go ahead and summon. You know, when it comes to Broly, I do things like this because I'm just super excited. And let me know who you are most excited for when it comes to, you know, the Dragon Ball Heroes collab characters. Just a more chill video today. Let me know what you think about this concept. But before I go ahead and show that, I do have a quick challenge. If you are still summoning on this banner, or if you did any summon on this banner past the discounts, meaning when discounts are over, but you still summon, I don't care if it was single or multi, you got caught lacking today, drop down and give me 15 push-ups. And if you can't do that or don't want to do that, then you got to subscribe. It is what it is. Road to 61K. Let's continue with the video here. So I did pull up this Super Saiyan 4 Broly for, didn't mean to click that, for reference here. He's not really built the same, but let's hop into it. So first things first is leader skill. I do see him being one of the, you know, 3 characters that end up, having one of those 200% leads. Remember last year during the Dragon Ball Heroes collab, we had 3 characters with 200% leads. We had the Limit Breaker Goku, Limit Breaker Vegeta, as well as Dio, right? The Hearts card. I do think Broly will be one of the, however many there are, one of the characters that do end up having. Let me actually make this a little bit bigger. But one of the characters who do end up having a 200% lead, and this is what I'm going with. So Giant 8 power or crossover category key 3 and 170% of stats, and then an extra 30% to HP attack and defense for characters who belong to the Dragon Ball Heroes category. So nothing you know, too crazy there, mixing in a little bit of Giant 8 power, so other Super Saiyan 4 characters. But of course you got to be on the Dragon Ball Heroes category. You know, it's just a generic Heroes lead anyways. Super attack greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn, causes immense damage to enemy, and massively lowers attack. I do really like this massively lowers attack effect for, of course, characters who it can work on, right? If you're facing an enemy who can have their attack lowered, it's definitely a nice, like things like massively lowering defense, it's whatever, right? I feel like massively lowering attack, if you're going to lower any stat, I think attack is definitely the way to go. And of course, greatly raising attack and defense for 1 turn is a nice boost to this character's you know, stats. All right, here we go. This is the passive. Let's go, you know, one piece at a time. We're at 3 key and 100 3 key and 100% to both attack and defense start of turn. He reduces damage received by 20% before attacking. So while this character is in the first slot or second slot or whatever, before he gets his attack off, he'll have 20% damage reduction. He performs a critical hit and guards all attacks for 5 turns from the start of battle. So this obviously means is that for the first 5 turns, crits are guaranteed, and of course he will be guarding. So he may not have the highest stat here, but reducing damage received by 20% before he attacks on top of the guard is going to look very good for this Super Saiyan 4 Broly. He gets 20% to attack and defense up to 100%, and reduces damage received by 5% up to 20% whenever guard is activated. Think of a character like Physical Fascia, for example, right? Physical Fascia, I think, had her guard activated or up to for 4 turns, and she got buffed. I think it was attack and defense plus 30% up to 150 every time her guard was activated. Essentially, every single time a character attacked her while her guard was active, or while her guard was, you know, active. Same thing with this Broly. Whenever a character attacks him for the first 5 turns, he will get 20% to stats up to 100, and then an extra 5% to damage reduction on all the way up to 20%. So essentially, he has to get hit 5 times to max this out, and 4 times to max this out. Telling you now, getting hit 4 times, 5 times within 5 turns is not too difficult. RNG can definitely play a factor, right? But it's definitely doable. And in that situation where you do get this off, you'll be at 3 key, 200% to stats, and of course 40% damage reduction. 40% at least before attacking, and then 20% after attacking. So he's already looking pretty good, and of course he is greatly raising stats on super, so he's not going to look as bad as you may think, especially you know, with some, what's it called, with like some high stats and stuff, right? He launches an additional super attack guaranteed when all allies attacking in the same turn are extreme class crossover, Dragon Ball Heroes, or Giant Ape Power category allies. So if I just pulled up this Broly, we go to crossover, Dragon Ball Heroes, Giant Ape Power. Every single character in the extreme, yes, even Hatchiak, every single character in the extreme class, you know, thing here is viable to, I mean, of course it's going to be able to activate that, right? Every single extreme class character, there's not really that many here, which is definitely a bummer, but every single extreme class character from these 3 categories will definitely do it. And there's definitely a decent amount of options. One reason why, and you'll see, one reason why I didn't really give him too many stats, but I think I still made him really good, is because the crossover or Dragon Ball Heroes team has access to a lot of like really good support characters. Mainly these Toa characters, the Int Toa, or let's say the where is she? The AGL Toa, for example. It's like the support mixed it, like when you have a rotation of this Toa as well as this Toa, and then this Broly, for example. Let's just keep reading, and you'll see. Attack and defense plus 50%, reduces damage received by an additional 20%, and all allies key plus 2 for the rest of battle after delivering the second final blow. I don't know if it's possible to code it in like this, but I like this because you have to work a little bit to get the, like, you know, getting the first final blow. Probably not going to be that hard. If you have a full team of crossover Dragon Ball Heroes or Giant Power category allies, you're going to be launching 2 super attacks guaranteed, while greatly raising your attack and defense each time you do. And then those attacks are going to be guaranteed crits. So it's not going to be too difficult to be able to do this. But of course, if you do, you're going to be at a max of 5 key, 250% to stats, assuming everything else is activated, and 60% damage reduction. 60. While in the first slot before attacking, and then 40% damage reduction while after this character attacks. And then of course reduces the damage received by an additional 10% when facing a pure Saiyan's category enemy. I had to throw that in there for the Goku's sake. So at max power, this Broly here can perform up to 3. Like, let's just take a look at this character's best and worst possible rotation. The worst possible rotation, I mean, I guess it'd be a little tricky, because, like, how do you not get this, right? Like, how do you not get that? Yeah, I guess it's going to be a little bit hard to, you know, navigate this character's worst, because you'd have to really go out of your way to just not, like, you have to purposefully go out of your way to not get hit with this character. So, I mean, if you're going to completely just avoid attacks, I guess this character's floor could be pretty low. But if you play the game the way you're supposed to play this game, this character can have up to 5 key, 250% to stats, 2 key support for all allies, not just extreme class, but all allies, maximum of 3 super attacks they can perform. So the regular, the additional here, and the hidden potential. That's 3 super attacks, greatly raising their attack and defense every single time they do. 70% damage reduction in the first slot, 50% after he super attacks. Let me know what you think. I feel like this is definitely a fair build for Broly. And you have to, again, keep in mind that with all of that, and then you factor in things like this. Let's pull this up. Let's pull it up, right? Let's do the do. Let me go ahead and pull you up. Let me also pull you up. So AGL Toa. Let's look at this. AGL Toa. Where is it? Extreme class allies. 3 key. Whoa. And 40. What the heck is going on? And 40% to attack and defense. If you dare enter the turn with under 30% HP, and you have Broly on rotation, imagine giving 3 key and 100% to stats to this demon. But if you also have this Super Saiyan 5 Lingerie Toa on rotation, all allies 3 key and 30% to attack and defense. And then of course at the best possible rotation, you'd have 3 key and 40% to attack and defense, given the high chances do proc. And this Toa also has the ability to give bonus buffs if you're under a certain amount of HP. So you could imagine, let's say for example you have a situation or a rotation of this Broly alongside these 2 Toas, which by the way are on Dragon Ball Heroes. They are also on crossover, so they do allow Broly to launch that additional super attack. Okay, let's say you enter the turn under 30% HP with both of these demons on rotation with this demon. In total, the support would look like this. We're at 3 key, 6 key. If all of this stuff procs, that's gonna be 40%. So that's 30% here, plus 10% for attack, 10% for defense. So 40% to attack and defense, 90% to attack and defense, 3 key, and 90% to attack and defense from Toa. And then 3 key, 40 and 60, 100% from 3 key and 100% to stats from this AGL Toa, which equals 6 key and 190% to attack and defense to this Broly. 6 key and 190% to attack and defense to this character here, who's going to be launching 2 additional attacks, talking about guaranteed crits, 70% damage. Like this is why I couldn't Dragon Ball Heroes. I mean, again, when this character gets an EZA and they make this a little bit easier, like accessibility wise, you got to be really careful, because these supports are really no joke and can make some of these characters look extremely overpowered. And granted, entering the turn under 30% HP is not that easy, but 50% is very easy to do, especially with a Heroes team in difficult content. So I don't know. And anyways, let me know what you think. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care and peace.